Shalom, giving all praise to Yahweh Bashem, Al Shai Bashem, Rakakodah, Shalom to the 144,000, and the rest of the elect out there, Shalom to you all. And I'm going to entitle this video, Let's See Where I Go With This. So this is pretty much is going to be various topics. I don't have anything, set up. I was trying to put something together. I came across in the notifications a video that Apostle Ramlab had put up. And you know what I'm gonna do? Let me go ahead and show you the. Which I was gonna go into, and I may go into this. Give me a second, y'all. Coming up. Okay, this right here, this was put up 2 hours ago. I didn't see it. It says a convo with Chat GPT about the Messiah, Yahweh Shai. And we've been using the chat pretty much for the last month and change. And then you put in GMS Israelites or whatever. They give you a lot of info. They got a lot of information on the GMS in detail. We asked a question at the end of camp, and then we have like the New York camps, because we cut the camps up into various different camps, and we meet, and we showed the men at the end of the camp the Chat GPT, and we asked the question, what camp is the most controversial camp? And they said without question the GMS. Then they went into a couple examples as to why. So this is about controversy. The Apostle Peter said that he was set up to stir up your. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and get that. It's either First Peter 1 or 2 Peter 1. Bear me for a minute. I'm positive. I'm almost positive it's 2 Peter 1. Give me a second here. Okay, that's not it. Let's try 2 Peter 1. Give me a second, y'all. The hell? Let me try it this way. I'm sorry, y'all. Remember. Oh, nothing. Remember. Okay, this is one. Let me jot this down. Bear me for a minute, wherefore I will not be negligent to put you always in remembrance of these things, though though ye know them, and be established in the present truth. Yeah, 13th verse. I think it meet or good as long as I am in this tabernacle to stir you up by putting you in remembrance. Stir, right? 15th verse. Moreover, I will endeavor that ye may be able after my decease to have these things always in remembrance, to keep the truth going, right? Yeah, I think it meet as long as I am in this tabernacle, in this body, to stir up by putting you in remembrance. I'm going to take the word stir. Okay, let me do this. Okay, that's not it, obviously. Let's come back to... Let's do it this way. Okay, it says, 1 Peter 1, verse 1, Peter, an apostle of Yahushua HaMashiach, to the strangers, Israelites, scattered throughout Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, and Bithynia, elect Israelites according to the foreknowledge, you had this before, of the Most High the Father, through sanctification, cleaning, right, through the word, Ephesians 5, of the Spirit, the truth, the Comforter, unto obedience and sprinkling of blood of Yahushua HaMashiach, grace unto you and peace be multiplied. Let me try this. Try stir up. I'm thinking Jude too. I should have went to Jude. Okay. This is why you have these different jakes that come on YouTube. These people are throwing around these black people, African Americans, and they really think that they're Israelites because they went into slavery. And the part where it says they were yokes of iron, and we know that nobody had yokes of iron on them except the Assyrians. Yeah, okay. This is why we pay you niggas no mind. Stir up. That's a heavy word to a term. Let me go over here. Okay, this is what I wanted. It wasn't Peter's. I believe it's also in Jude. I'm going to Jude anyway. Okay, 2 Timothy 1 verse 6. Wherefore I put thee in remembrance that thou stir up the gift of the Most High, which is in thee, or you, by the putting on of hands. 2 Peter 3 verse 1. This second epistle, beloved, I now write unto you, in both which I stir up your pure minds. Your mind's got to be pure. You got it. The mindset that you was into the world, when you come into this truth, you got to throw that in the garbage. You're going to see in this video, right? By way of what? Of remembrance, because we knew this in a previous life, reincarnation. Okay, I read this, 2 Peter 1 verse 13. Yeah, I think it meet or good as long as I am in this tabernacle, in this body, alive, to stir you up by putting you in remembrance, right? Let me read these. Oh yeah, I gotta read this. Numbers 24:9. Who's gonna get stirred up by this word? The elect. These TikTokers, TikTok Jakes, that gotta make a video. You guys are not the real Israelites, and y'all are going off, and you're gonna wind up in hell. We laugh at you niggas, man. You know, you're obviously not of the elect. That's why you can't get it. So we're not. Well, I want you to really sit down and convince me for about the next 3 hours. And I'm not going to convince you in shit unless you give me $50,000. I'll give you 15 minutes, nigga. That's it. You can't get it in 15 minutes. Too bad. Give me that the 50 racks. He crouched. He laid down as a lion, and as a great lion, who shall stir him up? Blessed is he that blesseth thee. And that makes me think of Genesis 49. Let me go into this. Let me go into this. Let me read the first verse. Okay, I'm right here in the 9th verse. And Numbers 23:24, the story of Balaam and the Israelites. He saw the future. That's one of my favorites, which is a prophetic book, because Balaam, which he was not Israelite, he prophesied. Most High opened up his eyes. The prophecy from Beor. Let me read the first verse. I'm not going to read the whole thing. And when Balaam saw that it pleased the Lord to bless Israel, he went not as at other times to speak for enchantments, but he set his face toward the wilderness. And Balaam lifted up his eyes, and he saw Israel abiding in his tents, or in their tents, according to their tribes. And the Spirit of the Most High came upon him, and he took up his parable and said, Balaam, the son of Beor, have said, and the man whose eyes were open, spiritual eyes were open, have said, if you're one of the elect, your eyes are going to be, you're going to go on the web and you're going to run into one of these videos, and you're going to be compelled to watch more videos, and you're going to realize that there's IUIC, IUCBK, GOCC, this group, that group, the other. And then you may go with the IUIC. You may go with the IUCBK. You may go with the ICGJ. Well, they're the original. You know, RER's still there. Let me go with them. You may go with the GMS. Right? So when you come into this truth, if you want to elect, and let's say you come into GMS, whatever you did in the world, you got to throw that in the garbage. You was a gangbanger, you was selling drugs, whatever the fuck you were doing, you got to throw that away. You got to become a new creature, as the scriptures say. So we're gonna get on that in the video, man. I got this video lined up for y'all. It said he have said, which heard the word of the Most High, which saw the vision of the Almighty. He saw the missiles coming. He saw Jake jacking up the nations. He saw Micah 5:5-7 on down, falling into a chance but having his eyes open. How goodly are thy tents, O Jacob, and thy tabernacles, O Israel. As the valleys are they spread forth, as gardens by the riversides, as the trees of line, aloes, and Yahweh have planted, and as cedar trees beside the waters. He shall pour the water out of his buckets, and his seed shall be in many waters. Oh, that's a good one to use. That's a good one to use, because Israel's seed is in many nations, man. You gotta. Hey, Israel puts their seed into all kind of nations of different women. You're gonna have Israelites looking like all kind of nations. Revelation 7:9. Who are these people? This multitude. John said, I don't know who the hell they are. They don't look like Israelites to me. How many Jakes is down there in the Nam? You had Judah down there. You had Benjamin down there. You had Gad down there. You had Reuben down there. That left their seed. They left their seed down there. Spike Lee made a movie on that about these Jake, was 4 or 5 Jake men. It was like a low budget movie. and they went, and there was the part of the story was one of the guys got back with the Vietnamese woman that he had a child with, and the child, she was like, she looked Vietnamese, but she looked Jake. He said, "This is your daughter," So how many millions or hundreds of millions of Israelites are down there in Thailand, in Spain, in Germany? World War II. Jake was getting it in Germany and Italy. We all over the place. It says he shall pour the water out of his bucket, and his seed shall be in many waters. His seed shall be in many waters. We're going to put our seed in many waters. The waters are nations, kindreds, tongues, and so forth, right? Revelation 17. And his kingdom shall be exalted. Our kingdoms. This is concubinism, bro. Been saying that. I've been saying recently, let me see. Hey, well, I did my walk today. And this one eater, my woman gave me a big smile and a fucking wave. And she looked good, too. Maybe she saw me before and kind of, she gave me a big smile and a wave. And I looked at her and I said she looked good. And when they pass by, I'm going to look back and see what the ass looked like. She didn't have a BBL. She had a cute little ass on her. So who knows if I run into her again? Anyway, the Most High brought him forth out of Egypt. He have, as it were, the strength of the unicorn. The unicorn represents the World Wide Web. That's a whole nother lesson. And you heard it first from GMS. He shall eat up the nations, his enemies, and shall break their bones and pierce them through with arrows. The arrows ultimately are the missiles, right? He crouched, he lied down as a lion. Judah lied down, but all the tribes. And as a great lion, who shall what? Stir him up. Blessed is he that blessed thee, the Israelite, and cursed is he that curses us, thee. Anybody that came, hey, Trump, he's coming against the tribes. So what do you think Trump is going to be like in the kingdom? We're going to rent him out. He going to get rented out. Him and Vocab. We're going to rent them two motherfuckers out. And use them as welcome mats. Yeah, this is beautiful, man. This is beautiful. Look, it mentions Edom. Like I said, I'm going to be all over the place. Okay, with sort of vision of the Almighty falling into a trance and having his eyes open. I shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but not nigh. There shall come a star out of Jacob, that Yahushai, and a scepter, Genesis 49 and 10, I believe it is, shall rise out of Israel. That's Revelation 12, right? The woman giving birth to the child, and shall smite the corners of Moab, fuck up Moab, and destroy all the children of Seth. And Edom shall be a possession, and Seir also shall be a possession of his enemies, and Israel shall do valiantly. There's a vision that Balaam, the Midianite, saw. He was a Midianite. You know what I'm gonna do? Let me do this. I'm going to ask, when did this take place? Let me go to Google. When did Numbers 24:17 take place? Big question mark. Numbers 24:17 was likely written during the Israelites' journey through the wilderness. That's correct, specifically around the time they were camped in the plain of Moab, which was around 1406 BC. The prophecy itself speaks of a future star and scepter coming from Jacob, which we know is the Messiah, which many interpret as the messianic prophecy. Oh, so wait a minute, vocab. There's more. So what Google is saying, and I'm going to go to the AI mode. What Google is saying is that the scholars, they all agree that, or all should agree, that the star and the scepter coming out of Jacob is a messianic Messiah. So it's not talking about him coming 2,000 years ago. It's talking about him coming back now, second advent. While the immediate context of the prophecy is the time of Balaam, its fulfillment is seen by some as culminating in the reign of King. No, it's not talking about that. And ultimately, in the person of the Messiah, according to some religious scholars. So when is it? It's not during the time of David, because it says a star shall come. How does it say it? Star shall come from Jacob, and the scholars all agree that that's talking about the Messiah. Not talking about the Messiah coming during the time 2,000 years ago, because he wasn't in power. Remember, he got beat down and put on the cross. So that's talking about when he comes the second time with power. I would meet you, but I would not meet you as a man. Isaiah 47. So if this is a future event, let's go to AI. If this is a future event, I told you I'm going to be all over the place. Okay, I want to go right to the point. You know what I'm going to do? Let me do this. Let me come on back. Let me do it this way. Let me rephrase that. Is Numbers 24:17 and time event question mark. Yes, Numbers 24 verse 17 is often interpreted as an end time prophecy, meaning now it's getting ready to take place. So guess what? Who's involved in the prophecy? You read it. Go back to Numbers 24. It mentioned Edom in the next verse. So guess what? Edom is not done away with, vocab. It said, yes, Numbers 24:17 is often interpreted as an end-time prophecy, particularly by those who see it as a messianic prophecy. Messianic meaning when the Lord come back. The verse speaks of a star coming out of Jacob and a scepter rising out of Israel, which many believers refer to the coming of a future ruler, which is the Messiah, Revelation 12. Often, another one of my favorite prophetic scriptures, often identified as a Messiah, this interpretation is supported by the fact that the verse is part of a larger prophecy given by Balaam about the future of Israel. He saw Israel when they got on top, and they beat people's asses. They killed people, and it says they shall make a noise as to wine. That's Zechariah. They shall make a noise as to wine. So we're going to be drinking and kicking your fucking asses. We're going to be drunk. We're going to be drinking. We're going to be nice. We're going to have that buzz. We're going to have the buzz in one hand and the buzzsaw in the other. and the phrase in the latter days is often in the context. Right, it says latter days. Let's prove that. Let's prove that. So y'all in trouble. Y'all in trouble. Latter days. And now behold, I go unto my people. Come therefore, and I will advertise thee what this people, the Israelites, shall do to thy people in the last days. So he goes ahead and breaks it down. He said they're going to bust heads. And Edom is a part of it. Edom is a part of it. And Edom shall be a possession. So no vocab. The Edomites are not done away with. The Edomites are still here. I see Edomites every day. So anyway, let me go into this. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me come on back. Because we're stirring up, like the Apostle Peter said, stir them up. Our job is to stir them up, not to stir Israel up. Although they're going to get stirred up any goddamn way. If they're not of the elect, they're going to be stirred up to come against us. If they are of the elect, they're going to be stirred up to be in. How can I get down? Job 41:10. None is so fierce that dare stir him up. Who then is able to stand before me? Songs of Solomon 2 verse 7, which is also Song of Solomon is prophecy. It's not poetry. It's prophecy in the form of poetry. It says, I charge you, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, which talk about the Israelite men, women, and children, by the roes and by the hinds of the field, out there in the field, that ye stir not up nor awake my love till he be pleased. You can't push the Most High to take this man down. I'm tired of this man ruling. Let's push him. Let's just start killing him. You can't do that. They're in the power seat. Yahushua told Peter, he that liveth by the sword shall die by the sword. Put back thy sword, Peter. When he cut off, show you that Peter was an expert in the sword. Man cut off a man's ear. That means you knew how to use a sword. Song of Solomon 3 verse 5. I charge you, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, which are the Israelites, by the roes and by the hinds of the field, that ye stir not up nor awake my love till he be pleased. In other words, you got to wait until I rise up into the prey. What is that? Micah. Song of Solomon 8 verse 4. I charge you, O daughters of Jerusalem, that ye stir not up nor awake my love until he please. 2 Peter 1 verse 13. We read that. Yea, I think it meet or good, as long as I am in the tabernacle, or as long as I am alive, to stir you up by putting you in remembrance. So the ones that you elect, I remember that was Israel. You're going to come remembered. You have members, right? Your body's chopped up. If you're remembered, your body parts are pulled back together. So when you lose your memory, the doctor's job is to get your memory back, and then you remember. Oh, I remember. You looking at your wife. I don't know this woman. You take you therapy. Then you say, oh, that's my wife. I remember she was my wife. So for years, we were not connected to being an Israelite. So now we remembered. These TikTok jakes out there, they don't remember. The Most High didn't open up their mind. The Most High didn't stir up their pure minds by way of remembrance. This is beautiful. Beautiful. Yes, Second Peter 3, verse 1 again, the second epistle, beloved, I will write unto you in both, which I stir up your pure minds by way of remembrance. Let's go to Jude. A lot of apostasy during that time, especially during the time of Jude, which is the same time as Peter. Jude, the servant of Yahushua HaMashiach, and brother of James. Jude was the biological brother of Yahushua. James was too. And he had two other brothers which didn't believe. So out of four brothers that Yahushua had, two of them were the elect, two were not. To them that are sanctified, cleansed in the Spirit by the Most High, the Father, and preserved in Yahushua HaMashiach, and called, mercy unto you, and peace and love be multiplied. Beloved, when I gave all diligence to write unto you of the common salvation, it was needful for me to write unto you and exhort you that ye should earnestly means diligently, contend for the faith which was once delivered unto the saints. For there are certain men crept in unawares, who were before of old ordained to this condemnation, ungodly men, turning the grace of our Lord into lasciviousness and denying the only Lord, the Most High, and our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach. We was watching, listening to the IUIC, and Bishop Nate. He was going good. He had to call us, have some brother read Romans 10 verse 13, and it said, call on the name of the Lord to be saved, right? How can they be saved if they don't have the teacher and so forth? He that called upon the Lord shall be saved. He didn't even go into that. He jumped to the first verse. He jumped around about. He didn't go into the name. Oh, that's talking about Israel. And I said, wait a minute. You got to put that back. And we did a little 5-minute, 3-minute video on the thing. I said, wait a minute. He totally avoided and misdirected, deflected, projected, whatever you want to call it. He didn't want to deal with Romans 10 verse 13. It said, he that calleth upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. He didn't want to deal with it, man. You can watch the video. It's on Apostle Gabar's page. But the thing that surprised me was nobody in that audience, and the audience that was there at the thing, nobody saw it. That's why you think we call them zombies. I will therefore put you in remembrance. There he goes again. I will therefore put you in remembrance. Peter said, stir up your pure mind, though ye once knew this, how that Yahweh, having saved the people out of the land of Egypt, which are the Israelites, afterward destroyed them that believed not. Did he destroy all the mixed multitude? Yeah, because they didn't believe. Okay, so that's what I wanted. Now, let's come over here. Okay, so this video was put up by Captain Tazariak TV, because he's on a mission to come against the former Sakari member. I don't know if there's still a Sakari, but there's talk about him. He's a gangbanger. He was always a gangbanger. He got out of gangbanging. He's back in the gang. Whatever the thing. I don't waste my time. The spirit is on Captain Tazariak to deal with that. I'm not dealing with it, you know. I said what I had to say about the matter, 6-7 months ago. So let's go ahead and listen to this. I only listened to about this much. I ain't listened to the whole thing. So this is fair use. I'm sure Captain's not going to, cut my video.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Good morning.
Let me know, who are you and where are you coming from?
I'm Gorilla Hebrew, man. I'm from West Iowa. Straight like that.
For real.
I grew up with you. You from the hood. You can state your name.
Okay, so let's bring that back. That's a whole different spirit. I don't know if this is recent. That's how them spirits work, man. If you're a gangbanger, you have a certain spirit. You're on edge all the time. If you're a gang, you banging hard, you on the edge all the time. Just like a military man in war. They're on edge all the time. He kind of rocked a little bit, different rock than when he's teaching. So the whole different spirit.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Good morning.
Let me know, who are you and where are you coming from?
I'm Gorilla Hebrew, man. I'm from West Iowa. Straight like that.
For real.
I grew up with you. You from the hood. You can state your name, your hood, whatever you want to state, or you can just keep it out if you want to keep it out.
I'm stated so they know.
All right. So I'm Bishop Izar Allah, and I'm on the phone with. Tell him your name.
Baby Hooper Ray from 107 Hoover.
Okay, so this is a gangbanger, an admitted gangbanger. All right, we don't think that these guys are actors. Okay, Baby Hoover Ray, 107 Hoover. I don't know nothing about the West. I know very little on the whole gangbanging set in the West. Nowhere in America, you know.
Yeah. So my question I want to ask you: can you still profess Christ and gang?
Hold up. Let me do this.
Baby Hooper.
Okay, let me do this.
And I'm on the phone with. Tell him your name.
Baby Hoover Ray from 107.
Okay, so Baby Hoover Ray, 107 Hoover. Look at his face. He's got the face and the attitude of war. He's in a war zone. You know? You got guys that go join the military. They're in the Marines. They go to boot camp, basic training. You got to have the war cry, the war face. But you know when you're really getting that war zone? When you're out there on the field. When they send your ass to the Middle East, and you know you can get hit with a sniper rifle. You know, you might be a little girl laughing at you, then all of a sudden throw something at you. Whatever the case may be, you're on edge. You're on edge because you can die. When Gad used to go out, they used to say it's a good day to die. So when they went out to war, and they were the original guerrilla fighters, guerrilla warfare, I'll look it up, because y'all say I'm making it up. Y'all like to do that. Guerrilla warfare translates into each man is their own warrior. You're never going to see Gad marching down the street. That's some Esau shit. Like Nate marching, that's some Esau shit, bro. What is that called? Help me out, man. It's called, the fuck is it called? Y'all in the military know. Dress rehearsal something. Dress military rehearsal, something like that. Somebody help me out, y'all. I forgot how to say it. You brothers was in the military. So help me out when you march. That doesn't make you great warriors. That makes you good fucking marchers. Gad didn't fight like that. Gad, Reuben, Manasseh did not fight like that. And myself, I never liked team sports. I always liked one sports. Because if I'm on a team, I'm 100% in it to win. You got guys that ain't. You lose a game because of these guys. You don't want to fucking work with these motherfuckers. So you want to be in the individual sport. You know, you lose on it by yourself, and you win by yourself. Let me do this. Guerrilla warfare, meaning. Guerrilla warfare is a form of warfare characterized by small, irregular forces using ambushes, sabotage, raids, and hit-and-run tactics to harass and weaken a larger, more conventional army. That's Esau. The term derived from the Spanish word for little war. Right, guerrero in Spanish means war. So guerrilla means war, little, a little war. You might have three guys. You take that flank. 5 guys take the other flank. You got some guys that are by themselves, and they picking off the bigger army until they chop it down to size. Right. So you had to be in a war zone to do that, bro. It said the snipers. What is a sniper? Sniper is guerrilla. That's guerrilla warfare. In the Nam, the Viet Cong, they use guerrilla warfare. Where do you think they got it from? They got it from Gad, Reuben, and the warriors of Israel were 3 tribes: Gad, Reuben, and Manasseh. Right? Emphasizes the disparity in size and resources between the opposite forces. So you break the larger army down until you knock it down to it, and then you put fear in their heart because you don't know, you could be the next one to get taken out. And they showed you that in a movie that this guy Mel Gibson made. What was the name of the movie? It was during the time of the Civil War, I believe. It was during that time period. What's the name of that movie? It was a good movie. And in the movie, he was one man. He was fighting a whole army, but he was using guerrilla tactics. So I'm pretty sure he was raised or learned this from Gad. All right. Okay, so I got that out the way. So I said what it meant, and I proved it, right? So now let's come over here. And we're looking at the spirit of Guerrilla Hebrew or Al-Azhar, and his whole demeanor is different. You know, the way he was rocking, the way he was talking. See, the Most High changes your spirit. Jehu, did not Jehu's spirit get changed when Elijah sent the prophet, the young prophet, to go in there to anoint him? He said, when you go anoint him, after you anoint him, turn around and hit the door and keep running. Because the Most High put a spirit on Jehu to do it. He put a warlike, terrible spirit on him. And what did he do? The first thing he did, they took what's her name, Jezebel, and he said throw her down, and they threw her down. The horses trampled over her, and they wanted to get the body. There was nothing left to the body. I believe the hands and the feet, and I think the head, if I'm not mistaken. I went through this about a month or so ago, and the dogs had ate her. So she died. You couldn't even bury the bitch, you know? So the Most High put the spirit on you. So you see it, this brother, he's on edge. He's on edge. He goes out every day knowing that he can get shot, killed, or he has to be in the war zone to kill somebody. It's not the guns. It's not the gun or rifle that kills. It's the cold hard heart that kills. So these guys, these gangbangers, if they in the military, they're your fiercest warriors, bro. Because that's all they know is war. Some of these gangbangers, they go to war with police. And the police is on edge. There is a war zone out there. Hey, Jake is going to get tired of this shit, of these motherfuckers, you know, these federal troops coming in, and the Most High going to put the spirit on them, man. It's going to be all out war out here, man. Because, Nero, he's stirring up war. And at the end of the day, he's going to my belief is that he's going to usher in the chip and the war of Armageddon. He's going to usher it in. The pride of thine heart have deceived thee, that thou dwelleth in the cliffs of the rock, meaning you can never be taken down. Isaiah 47. You can never be taken down. Psalms, what is that? Psalm 49:11. You can never be taken down. Your pride deceived you.
Yeah. So my question I want to ask you: can you still profess Christ and gangbang, or you got to be from the hood and disregard being a Christian or a Hebrew Israelite or anything of that nature?
You cannot gangbang and be a member of any religious background. It's impossible. You cannot do both.
And he said it straight. He said it straight. He didn't say, I think, in my opinion, and could be. And no. Once you come into this truth, it says you become a new creature. You can't bring what you did. You know, you're a guy to be you committing adultery. I took my boy's girl. I took my brother's girl. I did this. Then you come into the truth and you do the same fucking thing. That means you didn't come in as a new creature. You come in as a whole different personality, man.
We as gang members, have to make a choice to choose one or the other. You can't straddle the fence. Anybody that's straddling the fence is fake. Straight.
You heard it. Anybody that straddled the fence is fake. They're not real. They're acting. I wouldn't wish this situation on many people out there. His whole spirit has changed. Gorilla's whole spirit has changed.
Straight up. There's nothing else to that.
Yep.
No ifs, ands, buts, no halfway in, no halfway out.
So let me ask you this: if there was somebody from the opposing hood and they professing that gang, and when you get up on them, you press them, like, cause y'all from different hoods, and you press them, and they be like, "Nah, man, I'm with Christ," but they still banging the hood. Is you gonna still push your line on them?
Oh, absolutely, because they fake it. And if you want to play with this shit, then I'm gonna bring it to you even more. Because you can't play with it. You can't play with God, and you can't play with the gangbanging. You need to choose one or the other, or get the fuck out the way.
Yeah, because even Christ said that. If you lukewarm, he gonna spew you out of his mouth. So, like, what you saying is you got to be all the way with the hood, or you got.
You had at least two Zealot. Well, one for sure. You had Judas Iscariot. He was a Zealot. He didn't come in as a new creature. He had that Zealot spirit on him to get things stirred up. He wanted to stir. He knew Yahushua had that power. He wanted to stir him up. But it was set up that way in the spirit. So he didn't come in as a newborn, like Yahushua HaMashiach told Nicodemus. He said, "You must be born again." All that knowledge. What did the Apostle Paul say in Philippians? He said how he kept the law almost perfectly, and he said, everything I gained as far as being an expert in the law, he said, I count that all but dung to win Yahushua. You can't play this. You gotta come in naked before the Most High, man. All that shit that you did in the world, you gotta throw that out. You gotta come in anew. And see, this is happening. This is an example right here.
Got to be all the way with your religion or whatever you're doing, right? Yep.
And a lot of cats is doing that. A lot of cats come to prison and they do that because of the time that they have. Or you get out, there's a lot of 107s that actually claim to be Muslims. But you can't be a Muslim and a Hoover at the same time. You just can't do it. But they claim to be, because ain't nobody really pressing no line about that. But I run across you, you talk about you both, I'm gonna fuck around and slap you.
So, because I know there's Hebrew Israelites now doing the same thing, because we profess Christ under the understanding and knowledge that we are the children of Israel, and we go by the name Hebrew Israelites, because we know who we are now. But so if somebody in that nature came, just like the Christians do, or just like a Muslim do, saying that, oh man, I'm an Israelite, but I still bang, would you still bang on that person?
Yeah, because you claim.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you, you can't do both.
Yeah.
I'm gonna continuously say that. You can't do both. People need to stop doing that, playing with the Lord and playing with the game. It's either one or the other.
Yeah.
Matthew, he put it up anyway. He put it up. I'm gonna show you where he put it up. This is 3:26 in. We're coming down to the wire, bro. Y'all. Okay, that's not it. Going to the one we went to Matthew 3:26. Bear with me for a minute, y'all. Okay, right here. Matthew 6:24. Let's go ahead and read it. You can't straddle the fence. Matthew 6:24. We're going to read it in the NLT, possibly the AMP. No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. Ye cannot serve God and mammon. Mammon means money. Now let's read that. You guys sell out because they love money. You know, elite says, give me a price. You know, how much would it take you to sell out? And we'll give you instructions as to how to deceive the people. That's what happened to Tazadakia. That's why the Most High took him out on April Fool's Day, 2020. He said the C. Ragamuffin ain't gonna hurt us. And the C. Ragamuffin heard him on April Fool's Day. So the joke was on him. He became the fool. This is an NLT. I may even read an AMP. No one can serve two masters, for you will hate one and love the other. You will be devoted to one and despise the other. You cannot serve both the Most High and money. Right? It speaks about your eye being single. Let's come back to that. Okay, this is the 24th verse. Let me go to the letter I. Okay, the light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye is single, thy whole body shall be full of what? Of light. But if thine eye be evil, you can't be evil and good at the same time. Get some good evil ass. Vampire from Brooklyn. You get some good evil ass. No, you can't get good evil ass. It's either good ass or evil ass, and you know, joking around. But if thine eye be evil, thy whole body shall be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is dark? Your eye is darkness, but how deep is that darkness? Wow. So you can see this transformation. The way Gorilla, whatever Alizé, whatever his title is now, whatever his position is now, he has a different demeanor. Let's come on back over here. Yeah, how about Shem Yahushua ain't playing, man? The Most High could take this dude out. We don't know what the Most High is going to do. At the end of the day, whatever happens to him, he's going to be in the kingdom anyway. Not going to burn in hell.
And it's sad that we have to do this to get this message out. These cats know this. They know this, but it's hard for them to stop saying, oh, I'm a gambler. It's hard for them to say that.
Yeah.
And this brother, what was his name? Baby Ray Hoover, whatever his name is, he's telling the truth. He's telling the truth. There's no lying in this man. You can hear it in his voice. He's speaking with conviction. Because you're going to have niggas in that world that's going to be honest. You know? True to the game.
You know, so it's easy to say, well, I'm doing both. I'm walking with Christ, but I'm over here too. So what he's telling me is, you gonna go kill on Saturday, go to church on Sunday, and ask for forgiveness. Yeah. How is that even possible?
It's not. You can't do that.
It makes no sense.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's what they saying.
Because I know you.
When they come, I'm gonna be in the church.
Yeah. Because I know you when you came up and you started young gangbanging and you was putting in work and you became a reputable real quick. And you
already know.
And you wasn't having that. When dudes was saying, "Oh, I'm a Christian, I don't gangbang no more," but you still with the hood, you still chunking up the hood, and you still with the dudes who was gangbanging, you pressed the line on them. So we know according to the Bible that that's something that God don't even permit. He said either you gonna love me, acknowledge me, and renounce corruption. Because we know everything that come along with gangbanging. You killing your own people because they from another hood. They rep another color. They rep another set. So you're going to rob, kill, and steal from them niggas, right?
Exactly.
Now you might say, well, wait a minute. You Israelites gang bang with each other. No, we don't. We'll go against you if you're going against the scriptures. Like I said this many a times. If I saw Bishop Nate, if I saw General Yohana, if I saw Captain Zazariak, and I know who they are, and they got a flat tire, or they can't get their car started, maybe they need a tow, they don't have the money for the tow, guess what? I'm going to give them the money for the tow if I got the money. Or I got the money. Yeah, I always got the money. Because I go to the bank, I'll pull out, if I ain't got it in my pocket, I'll go to the bank. It was $150 to tow the shit away. He ain't got it. Boom, brother, don't worry about it. I got it, man. And I might say, if there any way I can help you, you know, I'm not a millionaire, but hey, brother, that's just me. Cause I'm not. Hey, I'm not. You look at Nate. He broken on it. He broken down. We ain't gonna help that nigga. You know. Hey, and we'll be arguing. You know, respectfully in the scriptures. You know, that's just the way I am. I don't know if they would do that to me. I'm looking at what I'm gonna do. What I'm going to do, right? If it at all possible, live peacefully with all men. So when you say that all the camps are gang, no, we ain't no gangbangers, man. That's why I condemn the thing with ISUPK and IUIC and what was that, Kansas City? I believe it was. That some IUIC should have been the big, they had more numbers. They said, you know what, let's close up. Let's go someplace else. There's many places, a million other places we can go to in this city. Because that tension was there. Sometimes you got to use your brain, your head for something other than a hat rack.
Yeah, so, man. And I want to thank you for doing this. I want to thank you for doing this interview with me because this is what's needed in the community. Real people, real conversation. And real understanding of where it is, either you serving the hood or you serving Christ, right?
Exactly.
Beautiful. Either you serving the hood or you serving Christ. Hood, another word for community. GMS is not about the community. We're not going to sweep floors and, you know, pick up bottles and shit like that. We're just going to give you the gospel. That's what we do.
You can't do both. Can't do both.
Yep. And state your name again so they'll know, because I think we couldn't hear you.
Eddie Hooper Ray from 107th Street, Hoover.
Yeah, we got you.
Y'all know what it is. Y'all know the name. YouTube, all that. Check me out. Y'all know what it is.
You got a YouTube?
I know, but you can type in my case on there. You know, a death row inmate. They know. When they hear the name, they gonna know what it is.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is type my name in on YouTube.
Yeah.
You gonna see what it is.
Yeah.
I'm not proud of nothing I've done, and I'm not ashamed, but I'm not straddling the fence. Okay.
So another thing, man, when you're ready to repent, you know where I'm at. Brandon know. I'm sure he told you about. Yeah. Yep.
You gonna be the first person I call.
All right. Yep. Yep. All right, Ray.
I appreciate you.
Appreciate you too, man.
Stay safe.
Yep. All right.
All right. Tell Mom I said hi too.
I'ma tell him.
All right.
Okay, so this is put up by True Nation Israelite Congregation. Okay, we're good. Hand clap to y'all. It's good. Oh, anyway, you know what? Let me do this. I'm gonna get ready to close it, but I don't go too long. Let me see. Where is it? I'm sorry, it's here. Let me do this. Give me a second, y'all. We voted for freedom, not a police state. Technically, it's a police state, but it's not a police state because it's under emergency. Police state is when your police state is if a commander or president calls police state, it's a permanent police state. He's calling for police state temporarily under the law. What is it? Is it 48 hours or 48 days or whatever the case may be? So it's a police state, but technically, by law, it's not a police state. That's why he kept saying, this is an emergency, this is an emergency. A lot of information, man, coming out. The apostle was asking me, Apostle Cabal, I was mentioning this guy. He deals with women in relationships. He asked for the page. I said I sent it to him. I forgot to send it to him. He's watching it. The page is the man mindset. The man mindset. Men are too dusty, not worth having kids with. Some say rejecting modern men is just evolution. National debt now exceeds 37 trillion. It's actually more like 260, almost 300 trillion. So you can never pay it back. Just paying the interest. Place is ready to go. They're gonna be forced to have a reset. They're gonna go all digital. They're gonna give you the chip. So let's listen to this. Let's see what this is all about. This is kind of long. I'm not gonna play the whole thing.
All right. Let's start off by saying Barak Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem, Baruch Kodash. Welcome to another live lesson. The name of this one is a convo with ChatGPT about the Messiah Yahushai. And pretty much I was just messing around with the chat, just asking certain questions. Actually began with asking him questions about Trump, in the book of Isaiah 19, just little stuff just to see what the chat would say. And pretty much it led all the way to Revelation, and then eventually ended up going to discussing Yahushai and what Yahushai actually looked like, and I'm just merely paraphrasing the conversation, and we going back and forth. The chat was saying certain things, and I was asking other questions based off what they were saying, and this is what I came up with. So we're gonna go into it. I typed in here because after the conversation, I had a few other conversations above it, and I just started. I'm gonna start from here. It says the Bible describes Yahushua, I had to put this, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace. So why did they paint him as a white man when the Bible says different? So it says that's a powerful and honest question, and it gets to the heart of race, religion, art, and truth. You're referring to Revelation 1:15, which many have pointed to when questioning the European depictions of Yahushua throughout history. Let's look at the biblical description where it comes from. What does it mean, and why Yahushua has so often been painted as a white man, even though that's not biblically or historically accurate? And this is true. Because even if you try to argue that where it speaks about his feet as fine brass, and no, he's still, he's a white man or whatever, you can't deny the fact that you have all different types of art, paintings, frescoes, icons, all over so-called Europe. It's all over that they depict Yahushua as a dark-skinned man or brown-skinned man prior to the Renaissance period, right? So it says, Revelation 1:14-15, his head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto brass, as if they burned in a furnace. And when you go into the Greek, the word for brass is really bronze, which bronze is actually darker than brass. I believe the word is called kalibano, which is brass. I'm sorry, bronze. Now, you have some clowns out there like Vocab and others of his ilk that said, well, his head and his hair were white. Like his head was white. Well, that's not what that scripture's saying. When we go to,
if his head was white, that means his face or whatever, that means he had leprosy. He's going to come down with a skin disease. You're supposed to be put out the camp. This is why we refuse to talk to crazy, bugged out Christians.
To another translation, which this is the NIV. They go off also, but on this point, they're on point. It says Revelation 1:14 in the NIV, as you can see there, the hair on his head was white like wool. Okay, just so you can get it right. True. So it says, what does this passage describe? This is a part of John's vision of a glorified risen Yahushua, right? And this is what the so-called Christians say, which, yeah, it is true, Yahushua is glorified. That was part of his glory. But this is also what he looked like. The Apostle John described him in his glorified state. But he still looked like a man. That's why when you read Revelation chapter 1, right? Let's see, where is that? Just bear with me. Oh, wait a minute. This is why I'm in the NIV. Let me just do it this way. Right. Revelation 1:3. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment, meaning one that looked. Well, this is Yahushua, right? But this is also someone like a man that belongs on earth. When I looked up in the midst of the candlesticks, I saw one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot and girded about the path with a golden girdle. All right. So let's go back to the chat. It says not necessarily his earthly appearance. Yeah, it was his earthly appearance, but it was in a magnified, glorified state. But a symbolic apocalyptic vision filled with imagery. Hair like wool, possibly symbolic of wisdom, divine purity. Yeah, I mean it defines purity. It defines wisdom, and all of that. But it also is the texture of his hair. It says, and maybe texture. No, it is the texture. Some connect this to Afro-textured hair, and it is, because when you look at the texture of wool, and you look at the texture of the hair of the so-called Negroes, the tribe of Judah, you see that it's closer, it resembles closer to wool than Esau's doggy stringy hair. Eyes like fire, symbol of judgment or divine insight, yeah. Feet like burnt brass suggests a deep, dark bronze color. See, they use the word bronze here because that's exactly what it is. And matter of fact, I believe even when you go to it, even when you go to Revelation 1:15, you go to the word brass, it's called kal kolibano. Some metal like gold is not more precious. They didn't give it to you here. Let's see. Right here it says burnished copper. And copper is darker than brass. All right, let's see. Let me try to pull this up in the NLTC. Right. His feet were like polished bronze. See? Bronze. Bronze is much darker than brass. So let's put this back on the KJV so I don't get confused. So let's go back. Possibly symbolic, but also descriptive. It is descriptive because this is what he saw. He saw an actual man in the heavens. We just read how he said, one like the Son of Man. So he was actually talking to Yahushua up in the heavens. It wasn't just a symbol. It wasn't just a vision. You know, this is actually what's going on. And this is when Yahushua was prepping the Apostle John, you know, for these visions. Why is Yahushua so often painted as a white European? Eurocentric influence. Most of the dominant artistic tradition in Christianity for centuries was based in Europe, especially Italy, France, Spain, and Germany, which is known as the Renaissance period. We're going to get into that. Artists like Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci painted Yahushua in the image of their own people. Why? Because it was their turn to rule, so they're not going to put somebody up to represent them that looks like some other nation. Especially when they're coming up from the grasp and the power, from underneath the power of Jake back then, as was common in all ancient and medieval art. Colonialism and power. As European empires spread Christianity around the world, they also explored their own images of Yahushua. And this is why you had Eliezer ben Yehudi, when the small hats, invented pretty much their own language. So the language that you see these small hats speak was a modern creation of the Hebrew language based off of what Eliezer ben Yehuda put together, which he based it off of the Arabic language, because the Arabic language and the Hebrew language are closely related. Because Ishmael, which was the son of Abraham, he spoke Arabic back then. He didn't speak what you see them speaking today, the Arabic. He spoke Hebrew. All right. This created a version of Yahushua that reflected the colonizers, not the historical reality. So you notice every once in a while I keep saying it's not accurate depiction, not historical reality. It was used intentionally or not. It was used intentionally. Why? Because the very thing that Esau did when they got out of that prison sentence was to what? To go around the whole world and deceive the whole world. That's why in Revelation chapter 20, which is a mystery, and this chapter here trips up even Israelites breaking it down. But when we jump down to the 7th verse, it says, and when the 1,000 years have expired, that was a 1,000-year period from the time when the Roman Empire fell, right? The pagan Roman Empire fell, until the time of the Renaissance was a period of about 1,000 years, a little more, or so, right? Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. This Satan is what? The adversary. And we know through studies that this is not talking about the spiritual demon Satan, if not the physical counterpart. That's why when you read the first verse down, it speaks about that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan. So these are all names that are applied to the beast with 7 heads and 10 horns, which the scriptures describe, or the book of Revelation describes, as being a political or empirical organization of different, rulers of the so-called of Esau, or the so-called Europeans that would rise up and that would conquer the world. You know, and one of the very things that they did when they got out of the prison sentence from underneath the power of Jake was, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth. And how did they do that? By painting their image, you know, as being superior, as being the Most High, as being Yahweh Shai. And a lot of people have been taken by that. Even today, when you know, when you go out to the camps and you see some of the Latin tribes, some of, you know, mostly it's Jake and Esau that come up to the camp. You know, it's very rare you see a heathen of another nation outside of Esau that comes up to the camp. You know, and they have a problem, especially the tribes. They have a problem with us having horns on the white so-called Jesus, because they don't understand, they don't know. You know, they that's what they've been brought up with. And generation after generation after generation, that is the only image that they've known. So that's why they get offended, right? It says, so pretty much that's the point. So he deceived the nation. So it was done intentionally to reinforce superiority of white Europeans and their control over religious narratives, right? Because the French philosopher Voltaire said that history is a lie commonly agreed upon. So if you have a conqueror and they conquer particular people, they're not going to put up that particular people's face as being anything that they look up to. Why? Because they conquered. So it says cultural blindness. Many Christians never question the imagery they grew up with, and that's true. And no one ever said color doesn't matter. It don't matter what color, you know, Jesus is, as they say. It doesn't matter. You know, it wasn't until the Spirit jumped on the Israelites to come out here and show scripturally and art-wise that Yahweh Shai was a so-called black man. Now all of a sudden color doesn't matter. You see? Because no one ever questioned it prior to that. And if anyone did, it was very small and minute. But now that the internet was invented and this truth is being pushed out throughout the four corners of the earth, now the people are getting, you know, edgy, because they're getting uncomfortable with finding out the truth of what the Heavenly Father and His Son and the angels and the Israelites look like. Because for centuries they've been taught different, assuming the art they saw was normal or accurate. Only more recently have people begun to critically challenge those portrayals in light of scripture and history. See? So it's a connection with scripture, history, art. You know, it says, so what did Yahweh Shai likely look like? Yahweh Shai was a Galilean Jew from the Middle East in the 1st century. Historically, he would have likely had olive or dark brown skin, which is really dark brown skin. Because olive, you have two types of olive, two colors of olive. You have green and you have brown. And you have black too. You know, so we know he wasn't green because there's no such thing as green people. So he was a brown olive skin, so you can understand. It says dark, coarse hair.
So you can watch the rest of this. I'm gonna go to the chat since he's in the chat. So what did Jesus likely look like? Okay, olive or dark brown skin, dark, coarse hair. Wow. Let me do this.
Hey, how's it going? I'm looking forward to working together. Let's figure out where to start.
Let me do it this way. What color was the Jesus of the Bible? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I didn't ask what color does it, GMS members, Hebrew Israelites, whatever, say the color. I put in simply, what color was the Jesus of the Bible? The Bible, this is to back up the video that you just were watching, that the Apostle Ramah put up. It says the Bible does not give a detailed physical description of Jesus. I'm reading that, verbatim, including his skin color. However, based on historical, geographical, and cultural context, scholars generally agree that Jesus, as a first-century Jewish man from the region of Galilee in ancient Israel, the Middle East, would most likely have had medium to dark brown skin. Let me read that again. Medium to dark brown skin. And I'm not even medium, I'm light. Dark hair, brown eyes. This would align with the appearance of other Semitic peoples in the region at that time, 2,000 years ago. Misconception in Western art and media, which is a renaissance, and we're going to look into that. The Messiah has often been portrayed with light skin, blue eyes, and sometimes even blonde hair, an image shaped more by European cultural norms than historical accuracy. This is the chat. Biblical clues. There are no description of the New Testament about Jesus' physical experience. Well, they told you what he looked like. They thought he looked like. The closest reference in Isaiah 53:2, which says he had no beauty or majesty to attract us to him. No, that was talking about when they beat him, when they marred him. That's what it's talking about. That's what Isaiah saw after they marred him. Suggesting his appearance was ordinary and not striking. No, got that wrong. Revelation 1:14 and 15 contains symbolic imagery, i.e. hair like wool, feet like bronze, but it's widely interpreted as apocalyptic, metaphoric, not a literal description. So, no. When John saw him, he saw a man. He didn't see a cow. He didn't see a 52 Chevy. He didn't see a F-16 fighter jet. He didn't see a bowl of rice. He saw a man, and he described what the man looked like. He saw woolly hair and dark skin. Oh, no, he didn't see a metaphor, because he said he saw a man, and he described what the man looked like. He saw a man with woolly hair and bronze-like skin. In summary, the Lord most likely looked like a typical Middle Eastern man of his time. Brown skin and dark hair, Semitic features, not the light-skinned figure often seen in Western portrayals, which is Renaissance. Let me go into Renaissance. Let me do this. Renaissance art, meaning. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. We're using the chat to our advantage. Renaissance art refers to the style of art that emerged in Europe, particularly Italy, during the Renaissance period, roughly the 14th to the 17th century. Why did it start in the 14th century? You got to go back to Revelation chapter 20. They were subdued for 1,000 years. The term Renaissance means rebirth and Renaissance art marked a rebirth of interest in the classic art, philosophy, and culture of ancient Greece and Rome, which were Edomites, white people. Key features and meaning of Renaissance art: humanism. Renaissance art reflects a shift toward human-centered subjects, emphasizing the beauty, dignity, and potential of humans. That's humans meaning white people, you know. Artists depict people more realistically and focus on individual emotions and experiences. Realism and naturalism. Artists aim to portray the world as accurately as possible. In other words, made them look like them. They look like us. These paintings of Christ look like us, which is white people. Because what did they find before they painted them pictures of white people, so-called white people? They found black icons, man. I'm going to go into that too, with lifelike human figures, natural landscapes, and correct. I'm not asking about all this. I'm asking about the art, man. Perspective and depth, classical influence for Renaissance art drew inspiration from Greek and Roman mythology, architecture and sculpture, religious and secular themes. While much of the art was still religious, e.g., example given, depiction of the Virgin Mary, Jesus, saints, there was a growing number of secular subjects, including portraits, mythology, and scenes from everyday life. Famous Renaissance artists: Leonardo da Vinci, The Last Supper, Mona Lisa, Michelangelo, David, Sistine Chapel, ceiling, Raphael, the School of Athens, Donatello. Right, these are the Ninja Turtles, man. Michelangelo, Raphael, Donatello. David sculpture, which they made them all white. Started when in the 1400s, right? Let me do this. Where am I going to go with this thing? Yeah, let me do this. Come back over here. Let me do it this way. What color were the people in the icon Russia? In Russian icon, the people depicted, including religious figures, are often shown with Mediterranean skin tones, meaning black, dark brown, which were intentionally painted slightly darker than the typical skin tones of Russia. This practice was common, and the varnish used on icons over time has also contributed to the darkening, that's bullshit, of their overall appearance, making them appear even darker than when originally painted, according to a forum discussion. Yeah, a bunch of crackers got together and came up with a fucking lie, right? Were the Russian icons, let me change this. Russian icons. Black people. Question mark. Some historical Russian icons do depict figures with darker skin tones, including figures described as black, blackety black. This can be attributed to several factors: artistic conventions and influences. Russian iconography is largely rooted in Byzantine artistic traditions. The Byzantine people of the Byzantine Empire were Israelites, dark people, which often depicted figures with Mediterranean or Middle Eastern skin tones. These depictions were not necessarily intended to portray black Africans, but rather to reflect the typical appearance of people from the region where the biblical events took place. So they're saying that the biblical people were so-called black people, while Russian icons painted to black people. None of them are dark skinned as the Africans or Dravidian. They didn't start the existence of the black people. Anyway, you know what I'm gonna do? Let me hit images. Look at that. Look at that. Let me open that up. And this is pre-Renaissance art. You can clearly see that that's a Jake. Mary and the child. You can clearly see you got a little mini afro. The truth is coming out on you devils. Look at that. All Jake with afros. Wow. Wow. Let me see. So eat your heart out, vocab. Supposed to be George the Dragon Slayer, if I'm not mistaken. Look at that. A so-called black man with a fro on a white horse. Black people, so-called black people. Crystal clear. They lied to us. Or remember, some months ago, he pulled out the icons and they were all black. So Putin, the president of Russia, knows that the original people of Russia were black people. Truth is killing y'all. Anyway, here we go to Russian icons. I happen to have this book, the icons, Russian icons. I have other books. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom on to the next shalom. Truth is coming out.